Hey everyone, SolarPrimal here. Welcome back to another video talking about Pokemon. Now, what I want to do today is talk about kind of revisiting, now that Sword and Shield's been out for a few months, and now they've released... Was that words? Sorry. Released the expansion passes, or at least information, a little bit about it. I want to talk about not quite that. I want to talk about revisiting what could a possible Diamond and Pearl, and maybe Platinum, remake may look like on this type of a game, and what Nintendo has, not Nintendo, but Game Freak has done to basically start paving the way for that potential. So let's talk about that. First of all, a lot of people are wondering and hoping if there is going to be a Diamond Pearl remake, will they have the wild area? And I've been kind of mulling that over for a little while, and there's technically an area in Sinnoh that could serve as a wild area. They have the Great Marsh area, and then there's the... It's like a Pokemon mansion. I can't remember what it was called. A rich guy owns a Pokemon mansion. He's got a big field of just rare Pokemon. Now, there's potential for it to be there. But I feel like just restricting it to there, because you get that to about halfway into the game, and in Sword and Shield they introduced it before you even got to the first gym. So I feel like there may not be a possibility for that. People really want a wild area for the Sinnoh region, but until we get more information and really look at where they really could do that, because that was the fun part about the wild area. It was almost seamlessly integrated with the game. It wasn't, here's the wild area, okay, moving on. It was, here's a bit of the wild area, you have to pass through it to get to the next area, and then you can get further in later on. So, it wasn't just, it worked quite in synergy with the game, and it still works quite well, even in post-game, to just explore that area at your leisure. So, I feel, as of right now, might not have a wild area for Sinnoh. Another thing I was thinking about was, with Sword and Shield, Rotoms are highly integrated into almost every electronic in the game. So they're in your Pokedexes, they're in your PC boxes, they're on your bikes, they're the drone cameras that fly around the stadium. Who knows where else they are? They could be in your blender for all I know, because that is kind of Rotom's thing. It can go into electronic appliances. You know, toaster one. You know, oven's a little stronger, I think. Either way, point being, Rotom was introduced in Diamond and Pearl when you go to a haunted mansion and you get lucky in finding one. Which, I was lucky enough to find one. Either way, with Rotom being so widespread now, I wonder how they're going to treat that, especially with how would they handle the Pokénav aspect of it. I did a video about what they could do, but playing through Sword and Shield now, my thoughts are a little different about it. Like, I still am in full support of them trying to do something with it, but if they want to integrate Rotom into basically everything, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I don't know what they're gonna do. That's the unfortunate part I have here, is that I don't know what they're gonna do now, all things considered. I think it'd be just as easy to do what they did in Sword and Shield and just have basically your cell phone act as the multi-purpose tool, because why not? Because it's easy. You know, why complicate it when it doesn't have to be? Again, the thing I'm hoping that they don't do is just completely forego the potential of a remake of at least any of the games. If they skip Sinnoh, I'm gonna raise an eyebrow to that, but again, we're at that point now where the next remake that should happen is the Diamond and Pearl region. Some people are also saying Johto should get another remake, but it's like they got one. They got one in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and it was great. I loved it. What I, as a Pokemon fan, don't want to see happening again is the same kind of stuff they did for Black and White 2 and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I liked Black and White 2. I liked because you started in a different area and the world had effectively changed and you explored different parts of the map. It wasn't the same path that you took in Black and White. So that was actually cool, and you know, if they somehow do a sequel to Sword and Shield, please do something like that where you don't get stuck doing the same path like you do in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Like, it was basically the same game. They added a couple things, but you play through it pretty much exactly the same. And a lot of fans didn't like that, me included. I went and played it and did it. It's just like, I could have just restarted my game in Sun and Moon and just done that. So I hope they don't just go the lazy route. I hope they actually develop a Diamond and Pearl remake, because I think it would be amazing if they did. Like, on this new engine, it would look great. And they're already pushing for some of the kind of snowy and sunny areas that Sinnoh has. Sinnoh has the southern portion where there's a lot of oceans and beaches, and then marshes, and then the weather changes as you go further up north. And then they have a snowy area like Sword and Shield does, and then now the expansion passes are now elaborating more on that. So I don't see why they couldn't do a Diamond and Pearl remake on the Sword and Shield engine. And I'm still hoping for it. We just gotta wait and see. Now, something I didn't talk about in my last video, and yes, I'm wearing the same shirt from the last video because I'm literally recording this right after that one. Doesn't matter, not the point. I didn't mention about the part 2 of the expansion pass. They announced that they're gonna have a new co-op mode where you can go into caves that are underground max raid dens and discover Pokemon that way. And you'll be walking in co-op with another trainer, maybe even 4. That would be really cool if you can get all 4. And this screenshot alone reminds me so much of the underground in Sinnoh, where you go around and you're mining for items, minerals, you know, sometimes they're evolution stones, sometimes they're shards to make some of the plates that you can equip to your Pokemon, you know. And then there was also these actual gems that you could trade for other stuff. In this version, if they're doing something like that, obviously you'll be mining for watts. And, you know, they kind of emphasized some of that in Sword and Shield with the digging duo, which got me excited. And I was like, oh, you know, digging, that's what the underground was really all about, and secret bases in there, you know. People kind of weaned off secret bases, I feel. I think camps are kind of more the thing now. But it wouldn't be awful if they brought those back. When I look at that, I just think of basically a big 3D version of the underground and just exploring that around and doing stuff you do on there. And that was also co-op back in Diamond and Pearl and Platinum. You could connect to either wirelessly or local to another player, and they would be running around too, and that's why you would be able to set up traps everywhere so that you'd get them to not go to your base. That's basically all it is. And, you know, they could definitely do that in a Diamond and Pearl remake with this implied. So I think what they're trying to do is, for one, see how well that works, and then what they're going to do is they're going to, you know, refine it, patch up anything that needs to get patched up in this, and then when it comes time to actually implementing this into, say, a Diamond and Pearl remake, there is that huge potential to have that system from that in that game, because they've tried it out there, they've done what they need to do to fix it up and make it better, and now it's in the game. That would be so good. So good. I would love it. Now, there is one thing I'm not expecting to come back if they do a Diamond and Pearl remake, which is the Battle Frontier. That seems to be kind of done. The Battle Frontier's kind of had its heyday, Generation 3, Generation 4, and then they completely did away with it in Generation 5 and onward. So, I think they've been trying to find something fun for players and fans to do after the post-game. So far, they got it pretty down pat with Sword and Shield. People are still playing it like crazy, because I was on last night and holy crap, there was a ton of raids going on. So there's still a lot of replay value in it, and with them putting out expansion passes like this, it just gets the fans like myself more excited and enthused to keep playing Sword and Shield. And again, it's not that bad of a game, honestly. I really like a lot of the new Pokemon. I don't have any complaints about them, honestly. In fact, my wife's the only one that hates the Fuddlinks. So, and that's only because she probably had a bad experience with it, and I don't know what that's rooted from. But either way, yeah, they're all pretty cool, actually. Like, I like what they've done with everything. So, and I hope they keep doing this. They're on a good momentum right now, and with these expansion passes, they're definitely testing the waters, pardon the phrase. And it could lead up to potentially testing the waters for a really, really good Diamond and Pearl remake. And I really hope that's what they're gonna do. What I'm worried about is if it goes the route of Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. Not knocking that game, but it didn't have the same feel I had when I played Ruby and Emerald. It felt off. And I think with the upgrade engine, it didn't balance itself out nicely. It didn't translate quite right. But, you know, it's still a good game. Like, visually, really good game. Yeah, I hope it goes more the route of how Heart Gold and Soul Silver went, which was a huge upgrade to the original one, and it felt just good. Everything looked great on it, everything ran smoothly, and they upgraded things, so like people that had played the original game, like I discovered that you could catch Larvitar so early on versus only being able to catch it at Mount Silver, which is super late in the game. And I've always wanted to have a Larvitar in my team, and so that's why when I did the Let's Play for Heart Gold and Soul Silver, or for Heart Gold really, I found out through research that you could get a Larvitar at a decent point in the game, and so I went and did that. So, and I discovered that as the project was going on, I wasn't like, I looked so far ahead on that. It's like, no, I was like, what's coming up in the area that I'm going into? What? A Larvitar? I'm gonna get that. Or what can I do to get that? And then I figured out how to do that, and then I did it. So they could easily do that with this new game. I'm really liking the wild mechanic where, you know, certain Pokemon will pop up, but then there's still a random encounter that you can go for. And that just opens up all the possibilities on what you could run into on that route. You're not restricted to only the ones that pop up in the overworld for that. You know, it was a nice touch in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and again, they used that mechanic and they brought that into Sword and Shield. So I'm thinking a lot of the stuff they're doing here, they could easily import into a Diamond and Pearl remake, and I keep going back to that, and that is just how I feel about it. Yeah. I know I mentioned there probably won't be a Battle Frontier if they do a Diamond and Pearl remake, but what they might do, they could do stuff like this. They can do expansion passes, they can have events happen around the world, basically, or at least around the region, that will have to get you to be involved with it. And again, if they do that, they will have to change the landscape of Sinnoh just a little bit. They may have to tweak it a little bit to accommodate all this new stuff, right? Because this is the first game where once you get to the wild area, you got full control of the camera. As where all previous games doesn't happen. It's always been on kind of a track, you know? And that is how it is when you start on a Game Boy and then evolve your way up. You know, Pokemon has always been evolving with the new games, and they've been learning from previous mistakes and then also learning from all the things that work. And, you know, but they still want to try stuff new. Or try new things, I should say. That's proper English, I think. Anyways, so that's my take on all that. Again, I'm on the train of let's get a Diamond and Pearl remake, and that is what I'm hoping for. So anytime I see hope for that, I'm gonna look at it, because there is potential, and the more and more of information we get, whether it be a new game like Sword and Shield, the expansion passes that just got announced, there is always going to be something I'm going to try and find to give me hope. And it's because, you know, you never know. It may happen. If they just skip right to black and white, I'm gonna be really sad though. Yeah. But again, we just gotta wait and see. We can't just jump to conclusions yet, even though this whole video has been jumping to conclusions. And well, I'm looking forward to all this stuff, and I'm looking forward to the future of Pokemon. Let me know what you guys think. Should we have a Diamond and Pearl remake? Are you part of that club like I am? If not, you know, let us know why. And let me know how you feel about Sword and Shield so far, because I like it. I know there's still people that are like, this is awful. Why do I have to pay $40 for an expansion pass, and how come they're not making me pay $80 for another full game? That's what you sound like. Anyways, you know who you are. Anywho, yeah, let's have a conversation down below. And until then, you guys, this is SolarPrimal signing out, and bye for now. Wanna get to digging.